Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
Hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we gotta talk about the biggest FAFO by Canada that they did to Trump, and now Trump is returning the favor to them. We're gonna talk about that and so much more, but before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe. Please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut-based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook, guys. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and you guys want to be able to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed, well then, head on over to my friends at Minds.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome affiliate link with Byrna. Byrna is the less lethal self-defense company, guys. They make their top-of-the-line Byrna SD, Byrna LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, guys, their compact launcher, guys. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment and your right to self-defense, and you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to my friends at Byrna.com. And full disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I do own a Byrna LE myself. And also, guys, I do have the most awesome and the most awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply is the top of the line adult diaper company, guys. They make their Megamax diapers, their North Shore Supreme pull-ups, and their Eterna boosters, guys. So if you know somebody out there who needs to wear adult diapers and who needs to be put in adult diapers, guys, well then, send them on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply, and they will make sure that they are diapered up as always. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Wow, that was a mouthful. That was literally a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I'm diapered up as always in my North Shore Mega Max diapers with my Eterna boosters and my onesies from Little Comfort. So I'm diapered up, padded up as always. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So yesterday, guys, I want to talk about the biggest FAFO in recorded history. Okay, I want to talk about this, and this comes from WorldNet Daily. Fake Trump pulls plug on trade negotiations with Canada over ad featuring Ronald Reagan, and the paragraph of this article is like this: President Trump has pulled the plug on trade negotiations with Canada, where the economy relies on significant ways on the United States over what he has called a fake ad that appears to be trying to influence U.S. Supreme Court's looming decision on tariffs. So essentially, guys, you got this like premier from Canada, okay? You got this guy by the name of like what, Rob Ford, I believe. Yep. You got this guy from Ontario, Canada, all right? Or not Rob, Doug Ford. Okay, this Ontario Premier Doug Ford, which is the equivalent of a governor in the United States. Okay, this idiot decided to fuck around with the United States. Okay, and he decided, ladies and gentlemen, all right, he decided to put an ad featuring Ronald Reagan. Now, this idiot, who is what, 600 miles away from where I live in Connecticut to the Canadian border, this Canadian asshole decided to fuck around with the tariffs and trade negotiations between Canada and the United States. And now President Trump's about to deliver the find out stage, which now is that the United States is pulling out from trade negotiations with Canada, and the Canadian economy, oh boy, they're going to be sinking faster than the Titanic put together. Okay? And I want to read you this article from One America News Network. Okay? Trump cancels trade negotiations with Canada following airing of a fake Reagan ad slamming the tariffs. All right? And I want to read you the headline from this. President Donald Trump announced that he is immediately canceling trade negotiations with Canada after the Ontario provincial government promoted a fake anti-tariff advertisement featuring the voice of the former GOP president Ronald Reagan. Yeah. And then this headline, and then this paragraph like this. And this was taken from like his Truth Social. The Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was like what, $75,000, and they only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and the economy of the United States. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Yep. So, which means, ladies and gentlemen, Canada's fucked. Canada fucked themselves like no tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Canada just basically shot themselves in the foot and have literally screwed the pooch. They literally have, guys. They literally have. Okay? The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian economy depends on the United States so much because what we're their next door neighbors, so they depend on us to buy their shit. But now after this shit by the Ontario provincial government and by Doug Ford, who is their premier, he just killed any chance of having normal trade and diplomatic relations with the United States. He just killed any chance. Okay? This asshole of an idiot in Ontario, Canada, just destroyed his country in one shit. Okay? The fallout from this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say like this. Trump should just kick Canada off the F-35 program and tell them, "You're on your own, bitch. You wanted to screw the pooch with us over the trade and tariff negotiations. Well, here's the fuck around and find out stage. We're kicking you out of the F-35 program, and you can defend your own territory. You can defend your own airspace. We're not going to defend it for you anymore. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And Alberta, Canada, we're gonna get them to come side with America. We literally are. Yeah. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, Canada fucked themselves. Canada fucked themselves so badly. Okay, it's bad enough they had like sissy boy Trudeau, which was like their version of Obama. Okay, it's bad enough. Now they got like what, Mark Carney, and he's already like putting a nail in the final coffin into the Canadian economy. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, as I sit here in the United States of America, we're just going to be watching the collapse of the Canadian economy. The Canadian economy is gonna fall flat on its ass. You know, who are they going to trade with? China, right? Who are they going to trade with? What? Asia? Who are they going to trade with? You know, I mean, we're the biggest trading partner in the world, but they want to go trade with China? Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead. My guess, dude. My guess. But I'm telling you right now, by what you did yesterday, by using the like the fake Ronald Reagan ad to like influence our U.S. Supreme Court, fuck this shit. We shouldn't be trading with you guys. We shouldn't be working with you guys. If I were Mr. Trump, I would suspend diplomatic and military aid to Canada. I would suspend everything with them. I wouldn't even share intelligence with them because you know why? Probably in bed with the Chinese and the Indians. Yeah, I wouldn't even share intelligence with those people. At the same time, guys, I just tell Canada, you're on your own, bitch. You know, you're on your own. We're not trading with you anymore. And if you're gonna send shit across the border to us, those tariffs are gonna be raised even higher. Yeah. So you're on your own, Canada. So you can, as they say, yo, you're on your own on this one, and we're not trading with you, and we're not gonna defend you. It's that simple. Okay? So if Russia decides to what? In, go playing around in your backyard, hey, don't come crying to America. Don't come beg Don't come begging America to come save your ass after what you did to us. It's like, screw you, bitch. Yeah. It's like, screw you. Screw you. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. You screwed the pooch. So you know what? You get what you deserve. And I'm telling you right now, you get what you deserve. Because I look at it like this. Canada is a socialist liberal paradise. Canada is where men can be women and women can be men, and where they allow the mentally ill to roam free in their country. I mean, shit. Canada is like a country where like this, you can't even own a gun, and they act like the UK. Although the UK cops don't have guns, but Canadian cops do have guns, like Americans, but they act like the British. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But I will tell you this. Because Canada's economy is sinking like a hard rock, I just go like this. Not my problem, bitch. Not my problem. You screwed the pooch, and now you get what's coming to you. Yeah. And Trump suspending trade negotiations with Canada, that's a first step. Next step, Trump should just kick Canada off the F-35 program. Mm-hmm. They should kick them off the F-35 program, and at the same time, block Canada from buying U.S. military gear. Just tell Canada, you're fucking on your own, mate. You're fucking on your own. You want to buy military gear? Go buy it from Europe. Yeah, go buy it from Europe. Don't buy it from us. After what you did to us, don't buy it from us. Because I'm telling you right now, we're not gonna be nice, and we're not gonna sell it to you. We're not. But I look at it like this: Canada fucked themselves royally, shot themselves in the foot. Now they're scrambling, and now they're trying to like get more trade with like Europe or South America or Asia because they screwed the pooch. They didn't want to trade with it. They did one stupid shit, and now we don't want to trade with them. That's their problem, dude. Not my fucking problem. But I am going to tell you this much. I'm going to tell you this. Canada fucked themselves in the foot. Canada shot themselves in the foot on this one. And now Canada has to, like, as they say in the Pottery Barn, you broke it, you break it, you own it. Now you own it. Now your economy is going to collapse even further. Now the Canadian dollar is going to probably sink faster than Castro Jr.'s like popularity. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But I will say this. Ladies and gentlemen. Canada screwed themselves big time. And when they screwed themselves, they really screwed themselves over. They really did. Yeah. Don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Don't be surprised if you see Canadians like begging to come to the United States. I think like this. The one last deal before we cut them off completely, we'll just tell them like this. Here, you take the liberals, we'll take your conservatives. Pretty much. That means all the conservative loving Canadians who believe in freedom and liberty, they're more than welcome to come across the border. And the liberals who want to live in their socialist paradise, they're more than welcome to go across the border into Canada. Or as I call it, Tranada. Yeah, that's what I often refer Canada as. It's Tranada. But I tell you this, I'll tell you this, Canada, your economy is about to hit rock bottom, and you're about to see a recession like no tomorrow. Okay, you're about to see a recession like no tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell you all this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you all this. As an American citizen, I don't think we should be trading with Canada. The way they treated us like this shit, the way they treated us during the trade and tariff negotiations, I don't think we should be trading with them. I don't think we should be buying their shit. Okay? I go like this. If they want to act like this, and if Doug Ford wants to think that he can bully America, I'm gonna say like this, Doug. Be glad we don't revisit the War of 1812 plans where we had plans to invade Canada and make Canada part of America, make it the 51st like state. Yeah, I'm glad we don't revisit those plans because I remember in history when I was studying like American history in college. I remember like we were talking about the War of 1812. We did have plans to invade Canada to kick the British out of North America. I I sometimes think like this. Maybe we should invade Canada to kick the liberals out of North America and send them all the way to Europe. Maybe we should have, but I digress and go like this. I know it's not going to happen, and I know Canada being a sissy liberal country. Yeah, I go like this. Wouldn't step foot there because too many fucked up libertards over there. They'd probably have me thrown in their prison just for speaking freely. Yeah, pretty much. But that's why I live in the freest country in the world, which is what? The United States of America, where I have the right to defend myself, you know? Where in Canada, yeah, you don't have the right to defend yourself. If you try to defend yourself, they probably throw your ass in fucking prison. They probably would. But the way I look at it, Canada Canada fucked around. Canada's going to find out. And when they find out that we're not trading with them, we're not negotiating with them, their economy is going to hit fucking rock bottom. It is going to be so bad, okay, that the only way the Canadian economy can survive without America is if they trade with China or Europe. That's it. Okay? That's it. Because that's the only way they'll probably survive. Probably survive, but not thrive. Okay? But we all know once you get cut off from America, there's no going back. There is no going back. And I will tell you this, they screwed the pooch on this one, ladies and gentlemen. They screwed the pooch. And when they screwed the pooch, they really screwed the pooch. And Doug Ford, I'll say like this about Doug Ford. To the Canadians who are going to suffer because of because the fact that Trump is not negotiating with Canada after what Doug Ford did, you can blame Doug Ford for destroying the Canadian economy. You can blame Doug Ford for destroying your livelihood. Yeah, for destroying the relationship that they had with the United States of America. So if you want to pin the blame on why Canada is not negotiating with America, blame Doug Ford, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Ford can be held directly responsible for why America's not trading with y'all, why we're not negotiating on trade and tariffs. And after what Doug Ford did to Canada, yeah, we're not trading with y'all. We're not trading. Nah, we're just gonna let we're just gonna let your economy sink faster than the Titanic. And when your economy hits rock bottom, don't come knocking on our door and asking to trade with us. Don't come knocking on our door to send goods across the border. We're just going to tell our customs agents, no, turn it around. Or if you're going to bring it over, we're going to raise the tariffs even higher. We're going to raise the price even higher. But I'm going to tell you this, guys, and I'm going to tell you this. Canada screwed themselves, shot themselves in the foot, and they fucked around. Now they're gonna find out. And boy, when they find out, boy, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get ugly and nasty in a hurry. It pretty much is, guys. It pretty much is. But I will say this. I will say this. Taken by these articles, and even from the Western Journal, even from the Western Journal here, I'll read you the headline. President President Trump shuts down trade talks with Canada after seeing misleading ad on Canadian television that featured the late President Ronald Reagan slamming tariffs. Trump said that the ad creators also did not get permission from the Ronald Reagan Foundation to use the late president's audio in its anti-U.S. propaganda. And then in a blistering Truth Social post late Thursday, Trump wrote the Ronald Reagan Foundation had just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement which is fake featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for what? $7,500,000? Mm-hmm. So Canada just sunk $7,500,000 in an anti-U.S. tariff ad on us. Okay? Boy, that's money wasted. That is money wasted. Money went down the tubes. And then I like this paragraph here. Trump continued, they only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and the economy of the United States. And then I like this last paragraph. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Which means we're not trading with Canada again. We're not like trading with them. We're not even gonna negotiate with them. Yeah. So Doug Ford, who is what? The provincial governor of Ontario? He basically just shot down any hope of Canadian economy reviving itself. He just did. He just did. And here's the thing: the ad that it cost Doug Ford to make was what, 75 million in U.S. dollars, in Canadian dollars, which translates to what, $53.5 million. So Doug Ford just sunk $53 million, 53.5 million, just to smear us, and now he's gonna find out what'll happen to his country. Mm, that's money. That's money well spent. That's money well spent. You know, damn, that is money well spent. I wonder what Mark Carney is thinking right now. You know what I mean? That he just lost any chance of negotiating trade and tariffs with America. He's probably already sweating bullets right now as he's on his way to Malaysia, to meet with Asia and gin up trade with them. He's probably already sweating bullets. Hmm. And then I like this. That I like this. If the U.S. stopped trading with Canada, its economy would crater overnight. Think about it, eh? And here's the thing: the U.S. is by far Canada's largest trade partner, accounting for more than 76.9% of its exports. So let's put it to you this way. Let's put it to you this way. Doug Ford, along with Mark Carney, just plunged Canada into a recession. Yep. They they just plunged Canada into a recession that they may never recover. Okay? Because what Doug Ford did, Mark Carney is probably thinking like this. I should go beat up the fucking rat bastard for this shit. I should have his head. I should have his head for what he did. Yeah. If I were Mark Carney, as he's flying to Asia, he better be scheming how do you get rid of Doug Ford or get even with him for what he did. If I were him, if I were him. But you know what? Since they killed their economy, I'm not worried. Let them go into a recession. Let them go into a recession. Let's see how bad they can survive. Let's see how bad they can survive. Yeah, literally. Let's see how bad. Anyway, I want to talk about this next two articles, okay? This talks about how Democrats are creating an ICE tracker, like tracking ICE agents and doxing them, harassing them, and trying to get them arrested for doing their job. You know, we're reaching a point in this country that what the Democrats are doing borders on treason and sedition. It really does. It really does. What they're doing borders on treason and sedition. These people who are all for like criminals, who love breaking the law, who think that no one's illegal. These people need to be thrown in prison. And I got problems with the Trump administration on this shit. Okay? I got problems. Here's my problems with this. Trump likes to talk like big and bad and all this shit. He likes to talk like he's saying, "Oh, we're gonna get tough on the left. We're gonna get tough on the anti-ICE crowd. We're gonna get tough on Antifa and all this shit." Talk is cheap, Mr. President. Talk is cheap. Okay? Where's the action? Where's the perp walks? Where's the arrests? Where's the arrest of these leftist terrorists, these anti-ICE terrorists? Where's the arrest of these Democrat politicians who threaten, who dox, who intimidate, who out ICE agents for doing their damn job? Where is the arrest of these people? Where? Talk is cheap, Mr. President. Talk is cheap. Okay? I want to see action. I want to see movement. Okay? You know when Dan Bongino ran his podcast show before he became deputy FBI director, he always said like this on his show: "The do matters." You can say all you want till the fucking cows come home, but the do matters. The action matters. Words mean shit. Action speak louder than words. And Mr. President, you coming from a Gen X generation, okay? And half your administration comes from a Gen X generation. We backed up what we say with our with, with word, well, with action. We backed up our words with action, okay? Today's generation is all about, oh, big word salad shit, but no action, no movement, no results. So here's the thing. When are you going to arrest these Democrat governors, mayors, politicians who all threaten, dox, intimidate, harass, and out ICE agents for doing their job, for arresting the illegal immigrants and the criminals and those who are wanted in their home country? When are you going to start arresting these Democrat politicians? When are you going to start arresting leftists who assault federal agents, who assault federal facilities? When are you going to start doing this, Mr. President? Because I'm going to say like this. If this shit happened in El Salvador, in Naib's backyard, how fast do you think if this happened in Naib's backyard, how fast do you think that these Democrat politicians, judges, activists, or agitators, or professional protesters, how fast do you think they'd be thrown in prison in El Salvador versus here in America? Prison about by the end of the week, and half of them would be fleeing across the border because they don't want to be thrown in an El Salvador prison. The problem here I see is like this. In this article from Breitbart, AG Pam Bondi warns Pelosi Democrats for threatening ICE officers. Okay, read you the headline. Top administration officials are warning Representative Nancy Pelosi, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and other wealthy Democrat Party politicians they face arrest if they resist federal enforcement of congressional deportation laws. Okay? That sounds like a strongly worded message, but is there an action that's going to result this? Is there perp walks? Is there people going to be like handcuffed and perp walked out of the building into federal court or into federal detention center? I mean, we voted to clean up the mess that was caused by the Biden administration and 4 years of like the progressive socialist liberal communist democrat bullshit. We're not seeing any results. We're not. I mean, give you an example. On January 6th, okay, 2020 or 2021, you know how when the J6ers were protesting at the Capitol? You know how fast the FBI was at their doorstep. You know how federal agents were hunting down people who were at the Capitol or even were near it, but not even in the vicinity, that were near it, got arrested, prosecuted, thrown in prison on trumped up charges. How come, how come we're not doing the same thing to Democrats? How come we're not? How come Kash Patel is not sending hordes of FBI agents after these protesters? Okay, how come? Like this? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are not going after these are not going after these protesters. How come? How come? I'm wondering. I'm wondering as I'm podcasting here to y'all in my diaper and onesie. How come? How come? I want to know. How come? How come like this? in the last 4 years, you've seen conservatives, Republicans, MAGA, all got arrested and thrown in prison on trumped up charges and got questioned by James Comey's FBI. How come? But when the left is doing this in Portland, in Chicago, and now in Alameda, California, at a Coast Guard base, how come the FBI is not sending agents to these protesters' house or hunting down these agitators and protesters and throwing them in jail? How come? I want to know. I want to know, man. It seems like this administration is all talk, all about big words and pumping their chests and puffing themselves like, yeah, we mean business. Yeah, we mean law and order. But how come I don't see the results? How come I don't see the headlines? How come I don't see the court cases being popped up on these like leftists? How come I don't see them being treated like J6ers? How come? How come? I just want to know. I just want to know because these two articles, yeah, even on this one from the red state, new. DOJ warns Pelosi, stand down or face ramifications after she threatened to arrest ICE agents. Okay, it's a strongly worded response, but how come there is no action? How come there is no movement, okay, to stop this shit? Because I'm telling you this, and I'm just going to say this on the podcast show, okay, on October 24th, 2025. There's going to be a point where people are going to be fed up with these leftist protesters. And when they get fed up, and the people who get sick and tired and fed up with the government's inaction to deal with these leftist protesters and agitators and these seditious Democrats, there's going to be a point, ladies and gentlemen, that the people who don't want anything to do with this, that are getting fed up, sick and tired of our government not doing a damn thing and dealing with this shit, there's going to be a point that these people will take the law into their own fucking hands and deal with these leftist protesters, these leftist politicians, and take the law into their own fucking damn hands, all because the Trump administration wants to pump their chests saying that, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but there's no movement to deal with it. It's going to get to that point, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, man, as I read these tea leaves, read these social media posts, there's going to get to a point that people are going to get sick and tired, fed up with this shit. And they're going to get mad that their government is failing to do what they voted for. And I'm telling you this right now. It's going to get to that point. It's going. We're reaching that point. We're going to reach the point where people are going to get fed up with the inaction of our federal government, who is not clamping down on these leftist agitators, these leftist protesters, these leftist politicians who threaten, dox, bully, intimidate, and harass federal law enforcement from doing their job. And the people who support them are going to get fed up with their government not doing their damn job. And it's going to get to that point, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get to that point. We're reaching it. We're reaching it. And I'm telling you, man, if we reach it before the 2028 presidential election, if it gets that bad, I'm telling you, we're going to reach a point of no return. We literally are. But I'm telling you this right now, okay? I'm telling you this before we end the show for the weekend, is that the government needs to start doing more. Stop with this worded shit, okay? This worded shit means nothing to me. Action and results mean something, okay? I want to see results. I want to see headlines that say, oh, Nancy Pelosi has been arrested by the FBI for threatening ICE agents and now has a court date in federal court. I want to hear headlines like that. Or I want to hear headlines, FBI arrests Illinois Governor J.G. Pritzker for like doxing ICE agents. I want to hear arrests like that. I want to hear that. Because you know why? When you arrest Democrat politicians for threatening, doxing, intimidating, and outing ICE agents, you send a message to the left that says, do that, and you'll be in the same position as these people sitting in a federal detention center somewhere. It's that simple. Mr. Trump, you say you want to be tough on crime. You say you want to be tough on the left. You say you want to be tough on Antifa. You say you designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. Blah, 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 blah. But where's the action? Where's the results? Where is the movement to do what you're going to do what you say you're going to do? Where? Where is it? These two headlines from Red State and Breitbart, it's just like the rhinos writing a strongly worded letter and not doing a damn thing about it. Yeah. But I'm going to say like this before we end the show. It's going to get bad. And I'm telling you, when the people who have had enough with the inaction from the federal government, there are people who will take the law into their own hands, deal with these leftist protesters, agitators, and leftist politicians who threaten federal law enforcement because they do their job and they support them. Telling you, it's going. When we get to that point, I'm gonna just say like this: as I'm sitting in my back porch with my diaper and onesie and watching the shit show all go down, I'm gonna just say like this: told you so was gonna happen. Told you what's gonna happen. Yeah, pretty much. But I will say this before we end the show for today: if things don't improve in this country, okay, if things don't improve, if we're not seeing leftist politicians being arrested, prosecuted, and thrown in jail, and we're not seeing Antifa or the far left or these professional protesters thrown in jail and being treated like J6ers, the Trump administration is going to be a joke. It's going to be a joke in this country because it's going to be all talk, no action, and it's going to be like this. They're gonna be the biggest butt joke of it all. And you know, like that Elvis Presley song, little more action and less talk. You know what I mean, or something like that. We need to start seeing that here in this country, Mr. Trump. And if we're not seeing that, I don't know if you want to leave it at this kind of legacy here. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, damn, wow. That was a good long show, man. That was a good long show. I try to give you guys like a twice a week episode. I try to sometimes, like, when I'm in like a down mood, I only give one show a week, but I try to give a show twice a week to give you guys something to talk about and all that stuff. I really do, guys. I really do. Okay. So anyway, guys, I thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. Y'all have a good, safe weekend. I'll see y'all on Monday. Bye for now.
You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.